is going on, Bolt Nation? This is LaserBolt once again with another video. In today's video, guys, we are going to be taking a look at the Colossus class in Anthem and who should be using this class, why you should be using this class, and its ability and gear. Now, no game would be complete without a tank class, and if you're looking for a tanky class more than all, then this Javelin's definitely the one for you. The Colossus is pretty much the Hulk of this game. It has everything. It has missiles, it has plated armor, it has an iPod charger, an iPhone charger. No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't have all that, but it does have a lot of stuff, guys. It has cannons, it has mounted jet turrets, it has propulsion, reinforced armor, flamethrowers, anything that you could possibly think that you could throw on a class that's just there to cause havoc and destroy and absorb damage. Then that is what the Colossus is all about. Well, let's go ahead and dive into its abilities and find out what he's able to offer us, and if you should definitely consider this class when you have a chance to pick which class you want. Remember, guys, in Anthem, you could always switch different sets of Javelin. If you're doing a mission that requires more brute force, then you can switch to the Colossus. If you require a mission that requires more of different stealthy approaches, then you could pick that one. If you guys want to figure out exactly what all these classes are, make sure you guys check out my video where I detail every single Javelin that you're able to use currently right now in the game. So let's go ahead and get started with the Colossus melee ability. The Colossus has a massive chassis, and it uses this very predominantly in the game. It is either a weapon for smashing and attacking someone from the air, or using it as a hammer attack and knocking the enemy back. It's actually a really interesting kind of arsenal that he has, because not only is he allowed to fight foes which are up close and personal, but he's also able to surprise enemies from up in the air and to jump on down and cause some smash. I consider this the Hulk smash or the Hulk launch. That's what I'm going with. But regardless of that, it's called the heavy smash. Now, one of the coolest things that sets the Colossus apart, of course, it's his Ordnance Launcher. And this is going to be part of his gear. This is pretty much a weapon or a shoulder-mounted weapon system that he has. And he's able to have 5 different abilities he's able to use within this gear set. He has high explosive mortar, he has burst mortar, he has firewall mortar, lightning coil, and shock coil. So let's talk about what these are able to do. So we have a high explosive mortar. This pretty much launches an explosive projectile that deals heavy damage in large populated areas. So this is going to be one to kind of clear out a bunch of ads. It's going to be a very useful one, especially for clearing out big waves of kind of small tier ads. Then we have burst mortar, which fires a volley of smaller mortars that spread out to pummel wider areas of effect. So these are like tiny little kind of mortars that are sent out, as opposed to a big bubble that's going to be capsizing. There's going to be like little missiles going out in different areas. Then we have firewall mortar. This one fires a specialized mortar round that ignites a wall of flame, heavily damaging enemies and that try to move through it. So think of this one particularly as your ad control one, which is going to allow you to put up a wall and prevent enemies from either engaging you or prevent enemies from actually coming close to you if you're trying to heal or repair yourself, or just trying to save your teammates from actually dying. Next up, we have lightning coils. Lightning coil is pretty interesting, and it's one that I think is going to mostly be primarily for high value targets or bosses. This is pretty much what it does. It strikes a single random target with a electricity of arc, like an arc bolt, in front of the Colossus, prioritizing the target with a status of effect. And last but not least, guys, we have shock coil. This one pretty much emits a wave of electricity out of the Colossus, damaging all nearby enemies. For example, if someone's getting really close for you, you could activate shock coils, and this will pretty much give them a shock, and they will be consumed by the electricity. Now let's take a look at the Colossus heavy assault launcher. This is the one that's going to be able to be mounted on your wrist. We have the following. We have heavy cannon, flamethrower, flat cannon, railgun, and acid spitter. Now this is what we have for the heavy cannon. So the heavy cannon fires a large rocket in a targeted direction. Really good for damaging one particular enemy, not for a massive area of effect. Then we have the flamethrower, unleashes continual stream of fire to ignite its enemies. Definitely this one's going to be primarily focused on crowd control or clearing out areas where there's a bunch of ads. Then we have Flag Cannon. This one dodges a barrage of electricity at a charged range, launching electricity projectiles damaging nearby enemies. Then we have the Railgun, which is pretty much self-explanatory. Devastating single target with a forceful and precise kinetic round. This is going to be very useful for high tier and bosses as well. And then we have the Acid Spitter. This one expels an acid projectile to damage enemies that are nearby. Really interesting. Looking forward to actually testing this one out. So we have a couple for ad control, and we have a couple for just one single target or high level target enemies. Of course, no Javelin would be complete without being able to support its allies. And we have two traits. We have Taunt, and then we have Deflector Post. The Taunt is what it does. It forces all the enemies that are around its radius to divert their attention to the Colossus and focus all their target there, helping your teammates either escape from a close to death encounter, or you being able to kind of get all the enemies together and just flamethrower them to death and use it as a combo. Then we have Deflector Post, which is what this does. It gives all nearby allies a damage resistant buff. So if we're going to an area where there's going to be be taking a lot of damage, this is actually going to be pretty helpful. So before you engage the battle, you can put the Deflector Pulse, and that will give your teammates a ability that's going to make them take more damage. Of course, I know what you guys are waiting for. What is this Colossus Javelin's ultimate ability? Well, the ultimate ability for the Javelin is the Siege Cannon. What this does, it deploys a special ability that shows its true strength. It's a siege cannon that's primarily meant for clearing out small enemies, controlling enemies in a choke point, or just putting a lot of damage into an area where there's a boss or a high level target. So it's going to be a big cannon that's going to blow the enemy away without a problem. With its main objective of causing damage and then not taking any damage, the Colossus is definitely one of the favorite javelins that most freelancers are going to definitely pick up, because it's just a Hulk version of of a javelin within the world of Anthem. But if you're looking for a more stealthy, more lethal approach into the game, definitely check out my videos where I cover the Storm, where I also cover the different sets of Colossus like the Ranger and all the other Colossus that are currently available in the game, and pick the right one that's going to suit your playstyle. I hope you did find this video helpful and informative. If you did, guys, do me a huge favor, drop a like, share this video with your friends, because it does help me out a lot. And don't forget, guys, to stay up to date to all things Anthem. Make sure you guys keep it locked on this channel, and I will catch you guys on the next video.